Matt Jones says he was walking down this street when he saw two men behind him who came up, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground where they held a gun and took his belongings. All they have to do is walk outside and cross the street, and you're steps away from the 32 different restaurants being featured. Piles of trash behind me. The neighbors say have been here for over a week. Police say the man threw the woman in the ditch right behind me here and raped her, but she was able to come out and run up the street here to this gas station. This blue pipeline marks off an area of about 2,000 trees that the Pied Piper is able to tap into. And once that sap is collected, it takes only about 24 hours for that sap to turn into syrup.
American dream.
Millions of people come to the States with hopes of living the American dream. 6 years ago, Monique Vassell moved from Jamaica to pursue her own dream.
I came to the States for really better educational opportunities.
Vassell says the transition into American culture wasn't hard, but making the States feel like home was.
You almost never really feel at home or like there's a sense of belonging here.
With the presidential election less than a week away, she says it's more apparent where her place is.
I'm not a citizen, so I don't technically have the right to vote. I don't have the right to vote. So it's kind of just a looking from the outside in. Syracuse has a big immigrant population, and many are unsure of what's to come after this election. But the one thing they are sure of is that they feel lucky that they have the chance to go back home in case the land of opportunities doesn't live up to their expectations. I am just waiting to see. I have a passport for another country, so if things go all the way left, I've got somewhere else to go.
Hitting close to home, she says she's surprised to see how the candidates handled important issues like immigration.
A few decades or a few centuries later, like, you're back to this argument of like sending people away that don't belong in a place that was built on immigration.
Vassell's future may be as uncertain as America's, but
history's being made.
And this election will be one for the books. For NCC News, I'm Jackie Prager. Ron Kane knew from a young age that he had big shoes to fill.
When I was really young, I had this idea I wanted to be a clown.
His sole purpose for joining the clown industry is to make people smile.
I'm not trying to fool or trick people. I'm trying to entertain people.
But recent events of creepy clown sightings around the country, and now right here in Syracuse, is something Yo-Yo the Clown is not clowning around about.
When you see these stories about creepy clowns walking down the street, scaring kids and other people, you know, that's disturbing for most of us clowns.
Kane not only worries about the image of clowns, but also for his own safety when he is dressed in full clown attire.
I've heard reports of clowns being shot. I have the full makeup and costume and hat, everything. So if I'm going out there, I want to feel when I'm walking outside my car that people are not going to be scared of me.
This mask only costs about $20 and can be found at any local costume store like the one behind me. But it only takes this mask or something as simple as 99-cent face paint to dress up like the clowns who've been reported terrorizing the entire city. Commander of Night Patrol Operations Kathy Pappas says the clown situation has made its way to SU.
A few days ago, we had maybe 87 calls regarding clown sightings.
As Halloween nears, Pappas says that although it is not a crime to wear a clown costume, you should think twice about what you wear.
Be mindful that it may cause some consequences.
She reminds people to call DPS right away if they see any suspicious activity. As for Kane, he simply has one final message.
You're hurting that image by doing this. You know, we would prefer it if you didn't do this anymore.
Water isn't the only thing running by Otisco Lake. You'll also find
maple syrup. Yum.
Maple syrup is constantly flowing over at Pied Piper Maple Products because of the dream owner Barb Hamlin had as a little girl.
I fell in love with maple syrup and my mom let me buy a little maple sugar shape, and I think I licked on it all day long. My fingers were probably totally sticky, but it was just yum.
The moment she saw a plot of land with maple trees ready to be tapped,
I said, this is the perfect sugar bush. We are going to have to make maple syrup.
this blue pipeline marks off an area of about 2,000 trees that the Pied Piper is able to tap into. And once that sap is collected, it takes only about 24 hours for that sap to turn into syrup. But traditional maple syrup isn't all the Pied Piper makes.
Hot maple milk is not too hot and not too cold. It's just right.
And goes great with maple nuts, scones, and tea. But Barb gets her sugar rush from teaching others that syrup is a healthy sugar alternative.
I was always a teacher. I think I'll still continue to be a teacher. You're watching it drip, drip. Now flip it. There, now pop it in your mouth. I really like your glasses. They make you look so...
This season, the syrup is overflowing.
I've kind of lost track. I have several hundred gallons of syrup, I think. Yeah.
Enough for all to enjoy. Until next season. Nonprofits in central New York are getting an infusion of new money in the form of a $300,000 grant. Good evening, I'm Jackie Prager. Breaking news, DPS is investigating a sexual assault that happened last night. Residents near South Townsend Street heard gunshots and called 911 around 4:45 p.m. Israeli-American teenager has been arrested for a series of bomb threats against Jewish centers across the U.S. Donald Trump is under fire again after new sexual assault allegations surfaced Wednesday night. Because of these abnormal temperatures, the cost of maple syrup is on the rise. Coming off of a 16-game losing streak, the Brooklyn Nets went to Sacramento to take on the Kings last night.